Hello everyone, we're back to the IdeaHunter application and we'll continue where we stopped last time. So, like a quick recap. Ah shit, I did not open the right one. Where is it? Yeah, in project. Okay, so yeah, this one. To, to recap where we were, so we created already our idea schema, the controller also to put, delete, to get one ID, to get all the IDs, and to post new ones. We have this, and we started already with the users. The users would be the guys who can make requests and this kind of things. So we have again the model, so just a username and password. And we have the controller just to post and get right now. So this is where we stopped last time. In our server we have the root also ready, so everything is set up. So now we will continue with the passport. So passport is so what is passport? Here is written. So passport is a notification middleware for NodeJS. Extremely flexible and modular. Passport can be intrusively, so hard to say, dropped into any Express-based web application. A comprehensive set of strategies support authentication using username and password, Facebook, Twitter, and more. Okay, so let's go ahead. So the cleanup we already did. So this we can go. We can go with our controller again, and now we have this Auth controller. So first thing we have to do is npm install the passport and to save. So always it takes a little bit of time. Hello. Okay. So the passport and the passport HTTP. And again we save. So here, before we make the Auth controller, we need to update the user model. So let's do that. So in the user model, we need to add a method to verify the password. So let's do that. Verify password. Function is the password. And beacon back. So here, decrypt again. Compare password. And is the password. So we have the error and the is match. Okay, if we have an error, we return in the callback the error. Otherwise, the callback is first things null and is match. Okay. So that's it. So this, what does it do? This is the bcrypt mistake. It's a bcrypt function that compares the password and the password of the user. And if it's a match, then we just return the is match, and that's it. So now we need to create the Auth controller. So let's go ahead and let's create Auth.js. And there we need the passport. And then call it the basic strategy from the passport HTTP. Passport HTTP dot basic strategy. Okay, and again the user. So now our passport will use the new basic strategy. So function, we have the username and the password and the callback. So now what we want to do is to find the user. So with user find one, and now we want to find where the username is equal to the username. So what does it do here is that it's trying to find one with the username property of the user is equal to the username we just passed in this function, and that's it. So function, we have error and the user, and again if we have an error we just return the callback with the error inside. The same here, if we don't have a user, if it does not exist in our database, then we just return the callback with the first proper attribute null and false. Okay, and then we will use user verify. Oops, user. Then we will verify the password. This is the method we just created with the password, and then we have the function of the error and the isMatch again. As always, if we have an error, we need to return it in the callback. If it does not match, we have an error also, so let's create it. And false. Okay, and if everything is fine, then we just need to return the callback with the user inside. And at the end, we export is authenticated, and this is the passport authenticate, and this is type basic. What do I miss? And session false. Okay. Okay. So I guess I can save that now. And now we will need to check for each controller we have, for each root, sorry, we will need to check if the user is authenticated. So to do that, we will need to go in the server.js to import the auth controller. So let's do it. Var auth controller, which is equal to the require of the controller we just created. /auth. Okay. And now, before everything, here we need the auth controller dot is authenticated. So first it will verify if we are authenticated, and if yes, then it will use the post IDs or get IDs or these kind of things. So to get users, we want the same, but the only things that we shouldn't use, or the only route we shouldn't use, is to post a user. Otherwise, we can never like create a new one, and we want to create a new one. So yeah. Okay, so now with Postman we will create a new user. So let's go. Let's create it. Okay, we need to run the API, not server.js. Yay. Fail. Okay, so what do I miss? I missed MongoDB. So let's go Mongo here. Okay. And now it's ready. So now, if I want to get the users, I'm not authorized, which is a problem. So let's create a new one. So here we will need just username. Let's call it Nerta, and password. Let's write QWERTY. So send. So I have what is that? Maybe I already created it. Let me check. Oh. Okay, here I have one. So I don't know what was it. But now if I want to get the users, I'm still unauthorized. And to get authorized, what we need to do is now to have in the authorization, we need to make a basic auth, and now we need to write like Irta and the password. Okay, maybe it's uppercase. Okay, so I have a problem. User verified password is not a function. So in Auth.js, verify password is not a function. I guess it's not. It's like this. No. No, this is a small one. But in the model. Yeah, because here I made a typo. So I'm still not authorized. me check again if I have the right one. Okay, no, let's create a new user. The body, send password, send. What is the problem? Apparently something is wrong. Oh, let me check something. So I'll show you another tool. I don't know if I have it. Mongo Management Studio. This is a really cool tool because you can check what is in your database quite easily. So let's go check. So I have this IdeaHunter. Ah, yeah. I remember this because I already did this tutorial and I was using the same database. So we will just change it here and we will connect to a new database. So now if I want to post a new user, it should work. Yeah, new user. And now if I want to get them, I cannot. So let's try with now the right things. And now I can get it. Okay, so I have this problem, but we fixed it, so it's good. Okay, so now the problem, or not problem, but the upgrade we have is that for each request we want to do, for example, to add a new ID, as we just wrote there, if we want to add a new ID, we need to be authenticated. So we need to have this username and password correct. If we don't have it correct, so we can try, for example. So let's post the IDs. So what do we need again for IDs? IDs, we need a name, idea number 1, we need a description. This is an awesome ID. We need the author, and we need the entity. So now if I make a mistake in the password and I send, I'm not authorized. But now if I have the right one, I send and I have my ID added to the database. Oops. Okay, so now here we have it. We have the user and the ID is there. Okay. So we have this created at and this updated at that maybe we want to have it. So we will make it automatic. We don't want to write every time like when it was updated and this kind of thing. So we will do it the same way with the users. So we will do something before to save. So in the user model, for example, we had this pre-save and we have this function called back blah blah blah. And here we will do the same with the callback. And what do we want to do is to have, for example, now is a new, and this is a date, And what we want to do is to say that updated this updated at is equal at now, and if it does not exist, the is created at, then this dot created at is equal to now, and then we just call back. So now if we do that, when I will update my ID, so let's take the ID and let's go to update it. So put, and now we will change, for example, the author. It's the root that you would say. Okay, I cannot put why so ideas. It's the S there. So now when I send it, we can see that this created at and updated at are like equal. They are the same because created at was not existing. But now if I re-update again and I send, we can see that now created at is like at 15:43:14, but the updated at is like 15 seconds later, and this works like really well. Okay, this was a little bonus from this tutorial now. So now what do we want to do? Okay, so this is a new, like not root, but in this tutorial what they wanted to do is to have like the user has access only to his beers, not the beers or of anyone else. So here what it does is that it adds like also that the user like for example the user ID, how to explain, yeah, in the database, like for example for us it would be the author should be like my ID, for example, when I'm connected with my account, for example, this username, for example. So I should have the author of an ID with this ID, and in this tutorial they're like writing it as a user ID with this like from the request, the ID of the user that is making the request. And when they want to get the beers, they want to get only where the user ID is the same. So this is what they are doing now. And it means that, for example, if I have a friend that is making new IDs, I cannot get his IDs and mine. I will get only mine. But here I don't want to do it now, so I will not. And we will continue later. I will just make a little pause for YouTube and come back right after.